you're listening to it, hopefully within a 72-hour window that makes the topics that we're touching on appropriate to you. I am Kev Kelm. I am not alone. It is a trio today. That's what they call them in Lucha Libre. We are a trio. And we're covering WWE TLC on fire. Tables, ladders, chairs, and fire. I said it on Monday, Robert DeFelice down in Tampa Bay, Florida. I said I wanted this, and I got what I wanted. You can't play with fire as a kid. I almost burned down my neighbor's garage. Legitimate story. But in wrestling, when you play with fire, you also must wrestle with it. We'll talk about that. An Inferno match is happening at a pay-per-view with a bunch of other gimmicks. Joining us, his brand new comedy album is coming out December 22nd. He is Nick and Sheila's kid, Pratik Srivastava. Pratik, how are you doing, buddy? I know you're following the wild world of wrestling. Very crazy, just like our comedy world, but a little bit more active with wrestling than comedy at the moment.
Yeah, it's one of those things where just, I love how it says tables, ladders, and chairs, and fire, because I remember the one year where they added steel steps to the pay-per-view. It's like, where's the fire?
Tables, ladders, and chairs. Wasn't it, Robert? Wasn't it tables, ladders, and chairs?
They kind of just wrote it in Sharpie and stairs. Yeah. But what I like about this, Kevin,
let's throw the stairs on there. Can we get somebody from graphics to put stairs on the sign?
Flaming stairs.
They need to get somebody from graphics. Vince drew it in Sharpie, and it looked great. We're very proud of him.
Look great. Look what I did. Look at that. I'm an artist.
Hey, pal. Hey, pal. You got to say pal.
We'll talk about the album. Definitely check it out. It drops on December 22nd. It'll be available on Apple and Spotify. You can pre-order currently right now on Amazon and Apple if you really want to support the Teaker here. Definitely go check it out. This is a great album. I've performed with you on shows where this material came together.
There is wrestling material on the album too.
Oh, we're talking about that before the end of the day. Let's get it. Let's get in the news, because people always want to get on the internet and they want to find out competitions, dude. They want to know what's going on with WWE. Can I stick it to my friend who likes WWE? Can I get online and make fun of $1 billion company? I need to know if my opinions are justified on the internet. I need to talk down. I have 15 Twitter followers, Robert. I need to tell those billionaires in Stanford where to shove it.
Kevin, let me tell you, first of all, for somebody who does everything you do in the world of media, you have 15 Twitter followers. You need to get that up.
I'm talking about the people that
it's okay. You let it slip. You told the truth. I'm proud of you.
I have more than that.
You're better than acting those Twitter followers. You have to get in the mind of a fan.
I would say I lose 15 Twitter followers when I say things like this. Let's be frank here. Let's get into the Wednesday night ratings. Last night's shows are pretty good. John Clark and I did a really great post show of that. AEW, I thought, put up a pretty fair show, but did feel like in terms of overall quality, just a step down. Anything was going to feel like a step down from the amazing stuff they've had the past few weeks with Sting and Kenny Omega being their new champion. And the show was fun, but definitely there was just something that just felt like they were in a holding pattern. And next week they're going to get preempted by NBA basketball. So I was expecting a crazier show, though it was very, very good. Kenny Omega getting slammed through a table. And him having Don Callis commentate over his matches on a live mic was entertaining. But NXT, I thought, had a really, really great night. They needed a good night, and they got a great night. And you had Pete Dunne and Kyle O'Reilly just beating the holy hell out of each other. They created a new star, even though he didn't win a match in Tyler Rust. And the women had a really strong main event that set up something else down the line with Rhea Ripley, Toni Storm, and Raquel Gonzalez getting involved. But the ratings are out, Robert. The all-important ratings, AEW's been on the top of them for majority of the head-to-head competition, but the numbers today show the gap is kind of shortening a little bit here.
So the December 16th episode of AEW Dynamite averaged 806,000 viewers, down from last week's 995,000. AEW drew 766, up from last week's 659. So basically what this says is the Sting buzz has settled in a little bit. The NXT show, got a little bit of a following after announcing, hey, Pete Dunne and Kyle O'Reilly are probably going to beat the shit out of each other. And more important
and they emphasized, they did like a bunch of different social media things during the day that I think mattered to them. They went on Facebook Live on WWE's account like 10 minutes before their showdown. I was like, they haven't done that for Monday Night Raw or SmackDown in a while. So I thought that was interesting. And they did that just to tell you, we're going to do picture-in-picture. So I was just like, oh, wow. You definitely felt like from WWE's side, at least front-facing externally, that they are now responding to some of the moves that AEW made the past few weeks, right, Robert?
I kind of feel like we're also just downplaying the December variable here, where it's just people aren't watching as much. Did NXT's viewership go up? Sure. Maybe that's because they announced the match and it's, hey, I want to see this match. I want to see Karrion Kross come back. They had a little bit more on the fire, but ultimately, I guess I can say I wasn't as high on the night as you were. Like, Pete Dunne and Kyle O'Reilly beat the crap out of each other. I unfortunately watch AEW, so I did not see that yet.
Oh, you gotta go see it, man. It's a great match. It's a great match. You'll love it.
I'm sure I will. And AEW, they had a decent show. I'm already sick of Don Callis. I'll say it here. I'll say it on the Impact show when we do that. I am sick of Don Callis. I watched 5 shows in the last 9 days where the man proceeded to essentially jerk himself off. I'm good. Like, we need to evolve.
We got to get him at an open mic here. Robert's just firing off hot fire here.
We need to evolve.
Yeah, look at the zingers. Look at the zingers coming out of DeFilis over here.
Why you cut me off? I was gonna say we need to evolve. Like, he looks like the Pokemon evolution of me, but yeah, you cut me off.
Give him a light. Give him a light.
But yes, I like where we're going. The New Year's going to be sick. We got New Year's Smash. We've got New Year's Evil. We've got MLW King of Coliseum all on the same day.
And I believe you'll have New Japan's New Year's Dash shows.
New Year's Dash, which will be like the same day.
That's 24 hours. That's 24 hours.
And that's only after, Monday Night Raw, 2 nights of Wrestle Kingdom. I mean, we're going to die in January. We deserve a little bit. They can take their time. We're going to die in January. It's all good.
Pratik, I know you'll check in with me and you'll message me all this. Are they really doing this? And you definitely have a casual perspective on wrestling. I always have a conversation with you around January time. This is around the time Royal Rumble. This is around the time where I have comedians come up to me saying, like, this is when they start watching wrestling, football. You are on the like casual to keeping up with it regular side of wrestling. How do you feel looking in on the AEW NXT thing here? We're over a year into it now. There's definitely a lot of people feel that the AEW has its taste-making properties. But is there a little bit of like, all right, now NXT is going to come at you? How do you feel this thing is? Look, is just more of a casual fan.
It's one of those things where AEW, they got a little bit of a shaft because of COVID. I think that kind of hurt their first year a little because I think the audience really is that third character to the brand, the audience response, and having this kind of limited audience wherever you want to call it is definitely affecting it a little bit. I think it's great that they brought Sting back. I know some fans might be of the ilk where, is this turning into WCW 2.0? I'm not of that ilk. I think it's great that they're bringing in. I think AEW does a good job using their legends the right way. I'm interested to see what Sting does. I do wonder, are they using him every week? Like, I think maybe they could spread that out a little bit. You don't need him every week. You can kind of make him like a Spectre, he's a Spectre, but
that was him in. I mean, that was the part that made people kind of freak out online when we were covering the story, is when they said they're going to use him more than WWE did. And that's the deal he signed. And you're going to see him more regularly. They didn't say regularly. You said more regularly. So you see him 3 times. And this week he came out and pointed a bat at the bad guy gang of Team Taz and came to the rescue of the newly about to have a kid, Cody Rhodes.
French dad, yes.
But he didn't get physical.
No.
And we've been reporting for a while, Robert, that you're going to see Sting in the ring, but this is a 60-plus-year-old Sting who is coming off spinal stenosis from 5 years ago in his mid-50s. So
near internal decapitation. I really want to just paint that picture for you. But the fact of the matter is,
are you in a death metal band? what did you? You're reading off a medical report like it's Cannibal Corpse.
I just want to paint that picture because this guy worked Seth Rollins, who is legitimately one of the safest, best in the world, and freak accident, and it could have been bad. I'm not bothered by the fact that we haven't seen Sting get physical. He doesn't need to get physical, but he can swing a bat. I'd be afraid of the old man with the bat, especially if I know his reputation precedes him.
Clint Eastwood is a home run derby. He's involved.
No, I'm saying Clint Eastwood is still a badass, and I wouldn't want to walk into him. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
okay.
Walk for Mule. That's a great.
Sting is going to do a lot, and I said this on a different podcast. Sting, Taz, and Arn Anderson are eventually going to have a verbal sparring, and they're going to put this division and this generation to shame, and we're all going to have to live with that. But that is something I'm looking forward to in the coming weeks.
It'll definitely be an interesting period when he does get physical. I think that's the thing that a part of this that fans are the most interested in, and we're 3 weeks in. That was my only worry with it. And I'm not taking anything away from Sting. He's Hall of Fame. He's one of the best ever. He's one of the best WCW names ever. He's one of those guys from WCW that no one has a stink about, for lack of a better phrase. But it definitely felt like, all right, you just haven't come out there and point the bat. And this is something you already did the first week. And this didn't feel nearly as special as it did the first week. And I don't want to feel like it doesn't feel special to see Sting. So I'm okay with, can we do vignettes? Can we do something that doesn't overexpose it? I don't want to feel like they did when Kurt Angle came back and they had him on Raw every week. And it wasn't as exciting as that first time he came out. No rip to Kurt. It's just, you can lose the luster on somebody like that pretty quickly when they're supposed to be a legend and they're supposed to be in that rarefied air. You can say they beat up the Undertaker and they brought him out too many times. But when he came out, it was rare and sporadic. And when it did, it meant something. Maybe sometimes it meant more than others. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that AEW can turn the course here and get something special.
I'm almost offended that you, of all people, the person who is above and beyond positive about far too much, are coming down on Sting, of all people.
I'm not coming down on it. It's just circumstantial. It's just the way we consume things.
I think it's a
10 years ago, I don't think we'd be bitching like this. We bitch like this now because we get so much so quickly, and they're up against. You had Sting up against two stallions over on NXT. You had 14 guys around the ring all trying to get their stuff in, and NXT went out there and put on a banger. So I'm just saying, you guys did sports entertainment, and you got out-wrestled by the sports entertainment company. That's what I'm saying happened last night.
So what? Because you're new to the show, what happens here is Kevin is essentially, he gets hard for WWE and the booking of WWE. I don't understand.
You don't know this, Pratik. I am sexually aroused by World Wrestling Entertainment.
Yeah,
by the booking.
I'm a 50-50 booking. Give me a house show match. Give me a house show match with a count out finish. I want it.
You want a random matchup that was just announced day of.
There's a reason that he doesn't do the show standing up, and I gotta say it, because he's very horny for WWE. Is doing just fine, and I think having him in front of the live audience makes it feel like this is special, and we are using him because he was basically tossed aside by WWE. That's not a knock. That's what they did. I'm not saying that I want to see Sting come out and do nothing for, the next 3 months, but I was far less offended by Sting than I was by the verbiage of Don Callis for the show around.
Teak, when you tune in on Wednesdays or you follow up on the clips and different things like that, what are the characters in this battle between NXT and AEW that are catching your attention? You're like, that guy's cool. I want to see more of him. I want to see more of her. What's grabbing your eye here?
I've been loving Darby Allin, so I kind of like that Sting is coming out and playing. We're clearly playing to some sort of Darby Allin Sting pass the torch confrontation, whatever you want.
That is the part that I'm into too, and they have it open. Yeah.
I unfortunately, Robert, I like you, but I don't want to disagree. I do like I think Don's Callis thing does help a little bit because I think Kenny isn't the best. Fans are going to get mad at me for this, but I don't think Kenny's the best talker. I think he needs Callis as a mouthpiece right now. I think it helps with the story of he won the title. He's going on to all the brands. Does it dilute him a little bit? Sure. But I think we're still early on in this cross brand, whatever this Impact AEW cross promotional thing is. I would prefer to see different AEW people jump over to Impact and do surprise invasion type things. I'm a sucker for invasions. I'll say that right now. I like when people kind of
Robert and I know this. Whenever we do the Q&A shows, the number one thing we get asked is, when is this person from this show going to invade another show? Basically, can you tell me if my fantasy booking is going to be fulfilled? Not, is this going to happen? I heard this. No, tell me the thing I think in my head is going to happen on TV. Robert, so we got a fan here. We got somebody who wants an invasion.
And to be clear, I like the pairing of Callis and Omega. I don't like that Callis is repeating verbiage this early on into the angle because it's going to lose steam quick.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, I worry about that because we're in this for the long run.
and we're all used to people overusing catchphrases. That's wrestling 101. It's just, oh, if it worked, use it again next week.
Well, that's the bottom line, and Pratik said so. So, NXT, what do you think of what they put together here, Robert? I think they put together some exciting stuff here for New Year's Evil. I think Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor, it does feel like unfinished business. They did the takeover match. One of them got their jaw broken. The other one got their shoulder dislocated. And Finn Balor escaped with the title, but there were certainly a lot of fans who were like, that felt like a New Japan match in WWE where they're just hitting each other as hard as they can. Now, does anyone get their jaw wired shut after New Year's Evil on January 6th when they fight for the title?
My hope is that they're a little more safe because, you know, Finn Balor is just coming back and now he's going to go right back into the fire. New Year's Evil looks like a lot of fun. Damian Priest versus Karrion Kross looks like two guys who are really going to beat the crap out of each other. I think Kross gives him the kiss of death and sends him packing to Monday Night Raw like he did Dijakovic and Keith Lee. And I'm really looking forward to O'Reilly Dunn Part 2. Who walks out of this one with all of their limbs intact? I think Dunn still has a match with Balor, but that's a takeover match. That's not a TV match.
Yeah, I agree. And there's some things they're going to save for a takeover down the line in terms of Balor and Kross. I see a lot of people having. That's the thing about O'Reilly. I think he's going to get another shot here, and he's not going to win, but we're going to get a great match. And sometimes with NXT, I think that is the thing. It is a meat then sauce later brand, whereas Raw is sauce, and then you get some meat, you know, or Raw is that way, or SmackDown is that way. It's a little bit different. So those are the ratings. Once again, AEW scoring 806,000 overnight viewers. NXT scoring 766,000 overnight viewers. Note, doesn't include digital numbers. YouTube doesn't include
on
network.
demand.
I know a lot of people want to ask that. We get asked that. I get asked that quite often on our Facebook. We ask it. How come they don't include? Because those aren't public numbers. Those aren't included. This is strictly just cable viewers. Another thing worth noting is that these numbers were a little bit closer in what AEW loves, Robert. And this isn't me getting all 50-50 or biased, but this is true. NXT got close to them in the 18 to 49 demo here.
And in fact, they beat them in the 18 to 34 demo, which is so that says NXT is for the youth. NXT is for the kids.
Well, the big critique on them was that they're for the whole.
They're the 50 plus. The fact of the matter is, I think the reason they win that demo so much is because that's the demo that is still watching TV regularly and probably chooses to cover WWE first. Mm-hmm. I think that's the reason they win 50 plus. But seeing them win 18 to 34 is promising. It says, hey, they're getting somewhere with what they're doing.
Another thing that we never see is the 34 to 50. Sometimes there's also a subsect of this working media is a 25 to 54 number, but some shows don't ask for that rating all the time. Sometimes they get those privately. Sometimes those subsect numbers, I would love to see what those are, but now we're really getting in the weeds, you know?
It's disturbing that we're all just sort of lumped into like, your opinion is about as valued as a 54-year-old. Yeah.
I watched Bruno Sammartino get his neck broken by Nikita Koloff, and now some dumb shit with an Instagram's opinion means as much
as Nassau Coliseum.
I rented all the Coliseum videos at Blockbuster, and now some jagoff named Pratik has got an opinion.
I have all the challenges on VHS.
Pratik, I just made that voice sound like the basketball coach from 8 Crazy Nights from Amazon.
Yeah, speaking of Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah, everybody. Yeah.
Happy Hanukkah, everyone. Happy Hanukkah to you. I hope you had 8 Crazy Nights. I hope you had them.
Yeah, Adam Sandler's a man of 1,000 voices. It's
They all sound very similar.
Whoa, what do you mean my voice is so similar? Speaking of ridiculous comedy, if you're just joining us, Pratik Srivastava is I always feel like I'm going to butcher the name, but tell us about the album. These albums don't come together easily. These take a long time to do.
Not at all.
For the wrestling fan, this album drops December 22nd. A fun thing to listen to and escape a very crazy, going to be a very weird holiday week for a lot of people. The next few weeks with New Year's as well. Tell us about that wrestling bit on the album. You don't have to give it away, Don't.
No.
I'm not doing the Byron Allen Comics Unleashed thing, right?
You're setting me up.
That's revealed to everyone watching the show. When comics do Byron Allen syndicated talk show, Robert, they literally have to go on and just give material away on the show, which isn't a bad thing. That's fine.
It's
but
not a bad thing. It's fine.
About how you brought your wrestling kid fandom into the album here.
You know, this really is. You said kid fandom. I mean, if you can see the cover of the album. It is me as a child.
Look at this adorable album cover.
Look at that Portrait Studio picture from 1991. I think. Yeah, it's classic. That's the thing about this album. It really is about family. It's an insight into my family. It's an insight about me as a child and my childlike wonder coming into adulthood. I talk about wrestling. I talk about my fandom for Chicago Bulls. A lot of cool stuff in there. Yeah, the album. I mean, I've been doing comedy for 10 years. This is a culmination of 10 years of stand-up. As I was putting the material together, I was like, look, there's a through line here about my family. And so we recorded it on my parents' wedding anniversary. And we were
you had to turn your parents' wedding anniversary into your album taping.
Oh, hell yeah.
I respect that. That is
look at Robert. I like that you turned that into a jump off. I like
My parents don't do anything for their wedding anniversary. They loved it. That was the most celebration they've ever done for their ceremony. So it was perfect.
And quite frankly, their life should be about you. So good for you. You know.
Robert, when did you become his manager?
I love it. Don Callis makes a special appearance.
Hey, Tiki baby, listen to me here. What if we play off your parents' cuteness? People love that. You'll be on Ellen. You want to make people cry. You make them cry. You make them laugh. Okay, all right.
Go on Ellen. We'll go on. Ellen's not good.
We get a little Nick and Sheila dolls. We sell the dolls at the show.
No, I did suggest the name because relatability does matter, guys. No, he's just Nick and Sheila.
Why did you go corporate, dude? You're just like I'm waiting for your hands to come together like a power pyramid at like a big boardroom and just be like, how do we endear your parents to the strategy of this album release?
I'm just a monkey, Kevin, aren't I?
Robert, what do you love before people?
Money.
I think that's in the Bible. That's a good mantra to live by.
we have a money story to cover, don't we? We have a money story to cover before the end of the show. About someone doing something bad with money, and they were infamously known in the ring for doing, or at least they're related.
Their relatives were, yes, we do.
So we'll cover that. We'll also talk about TLC and how something's not only going to be smashed and broken with tables, ladders, but also someone's going to get burned. Someone will be burned. But the album took 10 years to put together. Is this is your WrestleMania? This is your big come up here. Are you worried about the way people are going to hear it? Because I've heard all this material. I'm going to tell you guys, it's hilarious. The first few shows I did with Pratik, I was like, I don't want to go on after him. You have these big showcase shows. There's like 8 or 9 comics. I don't want to go on after him. I want to be the first or 2 people out, and I get to have my Rey Mysterio cruiserweight match in 1996 and blow the roof off the place and get the hell out of there. And you were always you were one of those guys that like was always in those top spots, and now that top spot is yours. You're not the semi-main. You're main now, baby. This is main event. You're making main event deals now. Real plays. You got Big Bobby D down in Florida pulling deals for you. All right.
I need those deals, baby.
He does. And we're gonna get him those deals. Okay?
Get me those deals. You can be my what was it, Jerry Maguire? I wasn't gonna go for Ari Gold. Just be Jerry Maguire for me. We need that right
now. But the album drops here on the 22nd. Also, I'm gonna be joining him on a special streaming event tomorrow night.
Yes.
Tomorrow night. This is a really, really cool thing you're doing for St. Jude's. This is 34 for 34. Tell me about this.
Yeah. So.
I know
34 for 35. That's fine. We can fix. It's fine. I will turn 35.
You're gonna have some. You're gonna have some hack comic asking you at the last minute to give him 5 minutes on this thing. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. So we'll add some people on. But yeah. So last few years I've done birthday shows around my birthday. My birthday was December 2nd. We're pushing it a little bit this year, but it's the birthday month. It's fine. There's good energy this month.
What are you turning 30? What are you doing here? Come on now.
I'm turning. This is my bar mitzvah, but it's
my birthday month. Yeah, I dated a couple of women that did that.
And let's be honest here. In this year, yeah, you can have the whole month. It's fine.
You know what? I do think he does get the pass, right?
There's a little bit
Robert, he gets the pass on it for being this month, because most people don't get to see you until 8 months from now. They get to see you at your birthday next year. You know.
It's 2 birthdays in one, but yeah, we're doing we're doing a virtual show, marathon show. We're having, I turned 34, so we're going to have 34, 35-ish performers go up, and we're raising money for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. That's actually a charity that my family has donated money to for the last 10 years. So I thought this year, let's do this charity show and raise some money for a good cause. And so, yeah, we're taking donations and we're telling people, actually, we're taking donations, but we're saying primarily donate directly on their site, St. Jude's or stjude.org/donate. And yeah, just send some money their way. And if you want to listen to some cool comedy from comedians, not just in Chicago, yes, like Chicago is a great scene, but we have comedians.
I've never met Robert. I've never been in the same boardroom with him where he's cutting deals. You know,
you got to be in the boardroom. I mean, how are you gonna make that money?
He's in the hip, cool boardroom. I wear a hat. Okay, I'm with the kids.
I wear a hat. Let's be real. I wear a hat because this man is my Pokemon evolution, and I don't have the hair or beard that he does. So I wear a hat to compensate because I'm not like Kevin. I don't want to go full bald because I have a little bit more pride in myself. You know.
I mean, I have enough hair for both of you. So if you want,
we're gonna have to make that work. We're gonna have to make that work.
That is, Robert, for all the things I've done for you, you go and do that to me. It's ridiculous.
I want to lift you up, Kevin. I'm saying
you lift me up. Yeah, thank you. Let me lift you up so I can slap you in the face. Let me get you out of that chair. I want to look at you. I want to see the whites of your eyes when I put that knife in your back. All right.
Kevin, I can see the whites of your eyes.
Let's talk about the big match here. We're 26 minutes in. I don't mind. They've added an Inferno match to a already kind of crazy on paper pay-per-view that came together and really got finalized this week for WWE TLC. And that has been the modern role of WWE pay-per-views or network specials. I don't mind it. I know some other people were complaining about it when we reported this today at WrestleZone. The Fiend will take on Randy Orton in an Inferno match this Sunday. TLC. Teague, are you going to be disappointed if you don't see someone burned alive?
Yeah, I'm going to need to see some burnage, aliveage.
Burnage?
Yeah,
What do you
burn it down? You know, play Seth Rollins theme over the match. It's fine too. Yeah, going into today, I was like, are they going to have a straight wrestling match? So I'm very happy that there's some stipulation added to it.
It makes sense that they cut an angle on Monday Night Raw. I remember I was talking to you about it, and Randy Orton tried to burn the Fiend in a prop box, and a normal person named Bray Wyatt, who's already creepy, and then emerged was someone who takes their job at a haunted house very seriously. The Fiend,
a little too seriously.
Robert, was this kind of put together too quickly, or is this just something you can do with the network because you're not bound by pay-per-view? You're bound by what you want to do on your own little pirate ship.
That is the thing that annoys me. So you build this match for like a month, maybe a month and a half, even counting the build to Survivor Series. And then you're just like, oh, hello, Twitterverse. We're a digital marketing brand. So here's our announcement that we're doing an Inferno match. Instead of making an announcement on the television show, so maybe, people might actually watch the television show. Lowest Raw ratings in history. Never been done. Lowest numbers. Okay. And I just don't understand why they're like, we'll announce it on Twitter because we're showing that we're a digital engaged brand. And it's such corporate speak and it makes me nauseous. But here's the thing that excites me about this Sunday. It's a Firefly Inferno match. What that means, we don't know. They're touting it as a first ever. I assume that we will have 1 million Bray Wyatt lanterns that will light the ring on fire. And I do think, unlike the Ring of Fire match at the 2013 SummerSlam, somebody's going to have to get burned here. We're not going to do
who was in that one? That was
Kane and Bray Wyatt.
That was Kane and Bray Wyatt, and no one got burned in it.
No.
Right. They made it very clear, it's not to burn the opponent. The ring is just surrounded by fire. And then they just sort of had Harper and Rowan put the fire out anyway, and just hey, never mind the fire. We've gotten around the fire and walked right through that gimmick. I think somebody's getting burned here.
Or something. Someone or something is getting
No, I think somebody's getting burned here, and I think that somebody is Randy Orton because Edge is going to set him on fire.
Oh, you think Edge might return? Interesting.
Yeah, that would be the place to do it, for Randy Orton to get his comeuppance, because he did attack Edge's wife, and he did attack Edge, and then he beat Edge in a match.
Beat Edge at the greatest wrestling match ever.
It was billed as the greatest wrestling match ever. And I'm going to say, as someone who gets aroused, my nipples get very, very hard about billing and marketing. I'm going to say that it was. I'm going to say it lived up to the marquee. So, no, I think that makes complete sense. Your fantasy booking could be fulfilled this Sunday.
We will see, but at least it's more exciting than, hey, they're going to have a match. It might even be a cinematic match. Maybe they're in a warehouse that's on fire. I don't know. We can play with these things. We're in a time of COVID still.
Pratik, isn't the Fiend just like a character that feels like he came out of the video game? Like he took all of the ridiculous things they do in a video game and they try to do them in reality.
It's every Rob Zombie Slipknot fantasy rolled into one.
Yes.
Now we're talking about what makes me hard.
Let's get a little. Oh God, what was the other band with the masks? What am I thinking of?
Mushroom Head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't Google that, everybody.
Yeah, don't.
Make sure you write band and that for the younger people that I've never heard that band. They something else will come up.
I think one thing is, I think Bray Wyatt and
Robert just Googled it. He smiled.
Google those matches.
We're having a hell of a show today, man. I didn't know they were getting all this extra.
We're getting into like the weeds of it. I like it. This is like the DVD commentary behind the matches too.
Other people with ridiculous comments. Nishad Jawad saying Adam Bomb does a run-in. Adam Bomb's going to come in and run.
And to be clear, no, he did not pass away. Brian Clark is very much still alive. Yes.
So that's going to happen. And Babs J, thank you so much, Babs J, for checking in. Always enjoying our show from Africa. Thank you so much. He says Fiend and Orton will be one hell of a match. Can it live up to the hype? And do you have enough hype in this match? I do think it did, for lack of a better phrase, cool down until this Monday when they cut that angle. It is an angle they've done before. Trying to light someone on fire in a box is something we've seen before. But I didn't mind WWE trying to play a hit here, something during an unfamiliar time at a time you weren't expecting it. They threw in a cover song and we didn't know we were getting it. But I do agree with Robert. I think they should have maybe told you, hey, we're going to find out what the match for TLC is going to be. It's going to be a special match. You're going to find out tonight on Monday at Raw. Before the end of the night, we're going to know what type of match Randy Orton and the Fiend have. No, let's do hide and seek. And so I didn't mind the hide and seek thing because you knew you were going to get something. But tell me before, if you find me, you'll find out what match we're going to do on Sunday. Like something, and it isn't even that hard, right, Robert?
I think they overestimate their digital reach, or perhaps it's an over-reliance on the digital reach.
It's not. I don't deny the thinking of it, though. I get the logic of it, but I agree. They should have paid off the viewers on TV with something.
I do too, but this isn't. For you and I, this is our job, so it's different. We do have to cover everything. The average fan isn't going to be like, well, what's on the bump? Oh my God, they've announced that the tag team title match is a tables match. Just announce it on the television show where people know to tune into your product.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they're playing into the international audience delay too, because the international fans don't get it at the same time, right? They're not watching at 4 a.m. So
and that is something we hear when we hear from fans overseas. It's something we get all the time is they find out about some stuff online before the TV, and then they watch the TV and they're like, oh, okay, cool.
Now that's fair, but the international fans are also checking Twitter while the show is airing in America because they know that the show is airing in America.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
They're getting their updates, so they're getting their live update. The equivalent isn't back in the day. They would call the wrestling hotline when they didn't have the pay-per-view or whatever. 1-900
Jim Ross making all that 1-900 money. Let's talk about WWE TLC. It is this Sunday. There are other matches on the show besides a human being possibly being lit on fire, or Muppets or puppets. Right? The one of the puppets that the puppet minions that Fiend has is going to be.
They could be set on fire too.
Yeah.
I think one really cool thing, Randy Orton is allowed to blur the lines a little bit with the man-on-woman violence. He should try to burn Alexa Bliss. That would piss the Fiend off. At least, try to throw Alexa Bliss into the fire.
And we haven't seen her on TV in 2 weeks. Alexa Bliss, the Fiend's, kind of little
Harley Quinn, harlot. Yeah.
Harlot. I haven't heard that. Harlot. That heart. That's a Jim Ross phrase, right?
That's a phrase, I think.
Whenever somebody's off TV for 2 weeks in this climate, I just worry.
COVID.
Yeah. And 6 months ago, that would have made me uncomfortable to bring up on a show because it's just speculative.
But and now we're just like, no, it's COVID. It's living with us right now. Oh, look, it's over there.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. Wash your hands. Wash your hands.
And never understood about WWE being like, hey, talent, don't tell the world you have COVID. Like, I still don't understand what is the protocol behind not announcing you have COVID.
True, and you see it with the sports league. Some of the sport leagues are like, "Don't say it until we say it," that type of stuff. So everyone has different.
It doesn't exist. It can't exist if we don't tell them.
It's like how they just wrote off American Dream, not American Dream. Who am I thinking of?
Let's talk WWE TLC. Other matches on the show. Working our way down here. We're gonna have Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles, a tables, ladders, and chairs match for the WWE Championship. This one put together the last few weeks. There's been a lot of different players, not just these two men. The graphic may have McIntyre versus Styles, but you have Styles with Omos, his new henchman at ringside. You have looming around the ring and him making him very, very present in the whole angle. Every single week is The Miz, who is the Money in the Bank briefcase and can cash that in for a championship whenever he wants. Everyone knows that. But then you also have Drew McIntyre with his buddy Sheamus failing to protect him or him failing to protect Sheamus. So a lot of different people involved in what is just a one-on-one title match. How does this all play out? Teak, what could surprise you on Sunday with these two?
I mean, I could definitely see. It'd be interesting to see if Miz cashes in or if Miz makes it a triple threat. I think that could be interesting too. That's why I almost am like, is the tables, ladders, and chairs match too much with all these run-ins and Miz and Money in the Bank? It'll be interesting.
Tables, ladders, and chairs match. It sort of opens itself up to those things, and it doesn't feel as it's tainted. Oh, it's tables, ladders, and chairs. It already feels like this isn't a bell-to-bell wrestling match. This is a spectacle. Robert, your take.
Okay, so. First of all, I definitely expect to see at some point AJ Styles will get on the shoulders of this massive Omos and try to just grab the title that way.
What? Robert, you got some hot predictions this week.
I think.
Who's your other prediction for TLC? Because we got to bring this up. You got to have a card, like a Robert.
Actually, my other prediction was that they would make the Fiend and Randy Orton a flaming tables match. They've overstepped me and done a Firefly Inferno, which is great. But you got a lot.
You just wanted to burn a table. They're like, we'll build a house.
We'll burn houses, But you got a lot of players here. First of all, it would make no sense in the world for The Miz to, before the bell rings, insert himself. But if AJ and Drew fall off of a ladder through a table and The Miz says, I'm cashing in, I can just climb this ladder and grab the belt.
Oh, he's still going to be a vulture. He's still going to come in there and pick the bones, man.
I think that's very good build, but it's not going to pop the number that they think it will. If they're going to turn it to Miz just to pop a number, that won't do it. Sheamus, I think if he gets involved, it's to accidentally hit McIntyre. I think we're going Sheamus McIntyre, Royal Rumble, perhaps even WrestleMania if other plans fall through. Ultimately, though, this feels like a foregone conclusion. Unless they get desperate with The Miz, I think Drew McIntyre has to win this match.
I agree, but it's certainly interesting with all those things outside the ring of like what element is actually going to have the most presence that isn't Styles or McIntyre. It's intriguing. I don't hate the build. I don't love it at the same time. But it is one of those things I've seen with WWE pay-per-views for majority of 2020 is the build is meh, and then the show happens and you're like, oh, wow, this was so much better than I thought it was going to be. One thing we know that has been solid since it started is the Tribal Chief. The Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, the man who is so hubris, he mentally abuses his family and then he physically abuses his family. And now he wants to abuse other people's families because he has to protect his family. And now the family he would like to abuse is the Owens family, Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens will take him on in a tables, ladders, and chairs match for the Universal title on the SmackDown side of things. Loved the promo for this last week. Pratik, imagine in the foreground behind me is Kevin Owens, who I just assaulted from behind backstage. And I'm Roman Reigns. But now I want to use this camera and national television to talk to Kevin Owens' wife and say, get your husband to stop trying to fight me, or I'm going to take away your family's livelihood. I'm the reason your family gets to eat. That's how out of touch like this character is. Like, and it almost makes me feel like, we gotta get The Rock versus Roman Reigns. When you're saying
this whole tribal family thing. And the Wild Samoans, I still remember they showed up at Hell in a Cell to like this whole Samoan crowning thing. It's unfortunate that they're building towards The Rock now. Maybe they're swerving us and saying, didn't they reveal it was going to be Goldberg and Roman? I hope that's a swerve because I think we kind of need Rock and Roman. I get that there aren't going to be enough fans for Mania, so maybe they're waiting for that. But yeah,
Rock has basically said he has no interest in wrestling in front of nobody.
Yeah.
So
the match.
But then there was an interview. There was an interview that came out where he's like, "Oh, but Roman's family, and I'll support. I'll raise my family's hand." You know, he goes back to
match. Yeah, if he's doing a match, it's going to be with Roman. And now it's just, I think it's just a matter of. I do think the match is going to happen. It's just now a matter of when it's going to happen.
When?
Now, maybe
it'll happen in 2 years from now.
It'll happen. It may not happen this year.
And they keep Roman hot long enough for that match to still matter in 2 years.
I don't know. That's a long time to keep the fire white hot. You know, like they're going to have to cool it down at some point.
Because he could lose the belt because he doesn't need the belt for Rock versus Roman. You don't need a belt on that match.
But I don't think he should lose until he loses the big one.
Yeah, and it would be a schmozz lose or something. It's been a long time since we've had that marathon champion in WWE. Almost probably since CM Punk, where you had, or Daniel Bryan had it for a long time too. Where you have that guy who has it. Like having a belt now for like 6 or 9 months is a long time.
Pretty long, yeah.
So I could see that. And the thing is, we're talking about Kevin Owens. Like there's no way he's going to win this title. Like it's a foregone.
Yeah, because it is. And that's no disrespect to Kevin Owens, but we just have to sort of accept that it is a foregone conclusion. Kevin hasn't been built up that strongly.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me.
Kevin, you're never built up strongly. I'm sorry to break this to you again. I don't want to do this to you, Dad. Stop making me do that. But Kevin Owens is not the guy who's going to beat Roman Reigns. It'll be a damn good match. They'll beat the shit out of each other. I like hardcore matches where guys beat the crap out of each other. But ultimately, this is Roman Reigns' match to win. Now, you mentioned Goldberg, and here's the thing. I just praised Sting at the top of this show. Love Sting. 62 years old. He can swing a baseball bat all day.
Here he comes to crap on Goldberg.
Bill Goldberg is not the person who should defeat Roman Reigns. I'm not saying I don't want to see it. I'm saying the message that it sends when you're sending out Goldberg to defeat the undefeatable says, here, this entire roster that we like to tout, that we built up in our performance center, it's crap. Imagine you two at a comedy show, and they're just like, yeah, never mind, because we've got Seinfeld coming up. Screw you guys. We don't need it's like look at
me and Teak, like we're in the back of laughing.
Seinfeld carrying us right now.
Well, what am I here for? Why did you hire me in the first place? It's not the right message to send. So the Goldberg match, do you do it? Yes, but you don't do it to have Goldberg defeat Roman.
Also, if The Rock showed up at a comedy club, we would also get bumped, right, Teak? If The Rock,
pretty much, if anybody, if the people from Jackass could show up to the comedy club, we're getting bumped, and that's happened. So that's anybody who's been on TV with the progressive lady shows up to do stand up. We're getting.
Shit. Who bumped you last night, Kev? Flo.
The Gecko, actually, the 3D Gecko. He's going up. Act like that. Gilbert Godfrey's voice.
It was just a gecko cage with a Geico sticker on it, and they just brought him out, and
Yeah, I'm not saying I want to necessarily see. I mean, I want to see it if it's going to be like a stiff, like Roman Goldberg, like just stiff match. I would like it to be like the Goldberg Brock Lesnar match from '33, where it was like 5 minutes, but it was a car wreck. Like
that was great. That was perfect, and that's
a good car wreck. Yeah, we need that. But yeah, you talked about how Goldberg ruined undefeated streaks. Like, yeah, he killed the Fiend. I still think that the Fiend was going strong up until that what was it, the Crown? What was it called? Crown Jewel.
It was Super Showdown.
Yeah, whatever that.
That is a sin. I think like the Fiend is like a millennial or a Xennial or a Generation Z wrestling fan that are in their 20s. The Fiend is their Undertaker. He is their supernatural, holier than thou character. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying younger fans hold him in this regard, and he should be protected, and he's our sacred cow, and you can't do that. Yeah,
sales also wasn't he like doing like maybe not number one, but he was up there for merch too with all the fun.
Oh, yeah, he still is. He still is for merch. Every anime kid loves themselves some Fiend. There's a Venn diagram of
that. I think Goldberg is just not the guy. I get why they do it. All right, we do need stars, but eventually you need to say it's not this guy. We don't need to sacrifice what we're building to help this guy, because Goldberg defeated Brock Lesnar in 2016. That was almost 5 years ago. And the excuse then was, well, who the hell on this roster could make Brock Lesnar cower in fear? If 5 years later Goldberg is doing that to a younger Roman Reigns, it just sends a wrong message. But again, I know that we've effectively skipped over.
What's to say that Goldberg doesn't go out there and get humbled by Roman Reigns? I think Roman Reigns humbling a legend is a compelling thing. And I also think that Goldberg is in a position in his career. He's like, yeah, I'll come out and do business. You're paying? Because Goldberg is a guy, he will come out and lose. He didn't mind losing to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. And I think that could happen.
He lost to Braun in the empty arena or whatever.
Yeah, but that's because he was supposed to lose to Roman, and you can't expect Goldberg to keep doing empty arena shows. You're forgetting, he did lose to Brock Lesnar. That was after he beat him twice and beat Kevin Owens in 2 minutes and 19 seconds at Fastlane. Goldberg isn't going to do it twice. I'm worried if they do that at WrestleMania.
That's true, too.
Running down the rest of this card here for TLC, we have other matches that are coming together. And is there any matches that pops out that's like, that's a match that I think could be a sleeper? Because sometimes with these shows, and I do like that the modern shows aren't too long. They don't overbook these. We're not doing like the 4-hour pay-per-view that isn't like a huge one, like a Mania or a Rumble. Like this will be a tight, under a 3-hour show. Are you looking forward to The Boss versus Carmella? Are you looking forward to something else in this card that could sneak up on some people, Robert?
What am I looking forward to? So the tag team title match between the Hurt Business and the New Day should be great. All 4 men are great athletes. Put it on the Hurt Business. I think it's time to put the New Day on the shelf. Big E's got new music. Let's let Kofi do his own thing for a bit. Let's let Xavier do his own thing. Put it on the Hurt Business. Let them run wild. Women's title match. I don't love the I'm Carmella and I'm bringing Diva back era of Carmella, but I do like that this rivalry is so steeped in kayfabe and television. And after what feels like 5 years of Sasha and Bayley, will they, won't they? This is just a nice TV feud. That's Sasha Banks' belt to lose to Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. Keep the belt on Sasha and don't ruin that. Now,
Robert, you're territory here.
The elephant in the room. Where's Charlotte Flair? Is Charlotte Flair going to be Asuka's partner in that tag team women's match?
What do you think here, Teak? Do you bring back Charlotte Flair this Sunday? Do you pop? Because we haven't seen her a long time, but she also wore her welcome out with hardcore and casual fans alike earlier this year. She was on every TV show that WWE had, and then boom, she was gone. And
I definitely think she'd be better off on the main roster. I hope she doesn't go back to NXT. I think she should come back in some capacity. I could even see Charlotte and Sasha at Mania, like do that again, do a singles match between them at Mania. I think that could be fun. So hopefully this build happens or something like that. Maybe she pops up in the Carmella match. I think this, like you said, it's a TV feud, this Carmella Sasha thing, but somebody needs to be inserted. There needs to be some sort of run-in. Something needs to happen during that match. And so, especially since it's a regular match, there's no stipulation there. So I think we need a run-in of some sort, either in the tag match with the women's tag match or the Sasha and Carmella match. I wish the New Day and Hurt Business match, I wish that was a ladders match, because wrong, these TLC pay-per-views should have like a breakdown of like there should be one chairs match, one tables match, one ladder match. So
this year it's 2 TLC matches and
2 TLC and an Inferno match. Yeah, no break.
We're gonna burn down a playhouse. That's what we're gonna do.
So I would have liked a stipulation on that. I agree with Robert. We need to break up. Kofi needs some sort of just singles. Maybe not.
We need to break up.
Run, but
we need to break up. What happened? I thought we were going great. I'm near the end of the week. I'm getting really silly. So I'm going.
You're fine. But
all right.
I do agree, though. It should be a ladder match for the tag titles. When you look at Shelton Benjamin and Kofi Kingston, two of the most innovative ladder performers of all time. And I think Shelton has earned his due. Give him a belt. Give Cedric a belt for being there and working through the muck to actually be treated properly. I'm enjoying that. But again, I got to go with Charlotte's going to be Asuka's partner because Charlotte needs to win every belt and be a Grand Slam champion. She will then defeat Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship and then lose it to Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania because we're running it back. We're just going to run back every match we were supposed to see this year in Tampa before COVID happened. We're just going to do it again. We'll do it live. That didn't happen.
Thank you, Bill O'Reilly. A little bit of Bill O'Reilly, not Kyle O'Reilly, Bill O'Reilly. We'll do a couple questions here to end off for the diehards that watch the show all the time. Thank you guys so much. The Knicks, the Hermans, the James, Espanto, Fernando. All right, all of you that watch the show, we love you guys. The people that listen to the podcast side of things, hit us up as well. We are going to do a watch along next week. Pratik, I know you enjoy a bad movie. We're doing a Hulk Hogan for the holidays watch along. All right, brother. And we haven't decided yet. Robert, you were in the camp of we should not do Santa with Muscles. We should do No Holds Barred.
I'm in the camp of No Holds Barred is a great bad movie. However, Santa with Muscles, it's Christmas, guys. You gotta have Santa.
It's Christmas, but Tommy Lister, Zeus.
Tiny Lister, Zeus.
Debo. I just call him Debo. I'm sorry.
That is true. He is Debo. And, Zeus, he did die, and that is like a sad thing. But I think you only get one time a year to watch Santa with Muscles. You can watch No Holds Barred any day of the week. It always holds up. It's always crap.
Maybe we save No Holds Barred for January, like when we're in the thick of the freeze. It gets really cold in the Midwest. But there's a possibility we do that probably Monday afternoon after TLC. So that could be our Monday show.
Cool down,
yeah. So it'll be pretty fun. Keep an eye out for that. Make sure you turn your notifications on so you know exactly when we go live on Facebook and YouTube. Hit the video. If you're liking this video and you're watching even just a small portion of it, hit like. If you like the podcast, give us a 5-star review. It really, really helps us out. Thank you to the listeners in Singapore. All right. We're on the charts in Singapore. All right. People keeping us on the Island Nation, the top 100 Apple Sports chart. Get a load of this, Pratik. We know a lot of podcasters, but do you know anyone who's in the top 100 Apple Sports on the Island Nation of Cyprus, the Mediterranean Sea? We're running an entire body of water right now. Okay, all right. Let them have it. We've got one of the largest inland bodies of water in the world. Okay, we're in the Eurasian Panhandle.
Cyprus is a hill I would die on.
Yeah. There you go.
That's where we are. Let's get into the questions here. Nick, though, he wants to know, is Jon Moxley going to come out of nowhere and beat up Kenny Omega? Are we getting more Moxley and Omega, Teak?
Yeah.
New father. Everybody's becoming a father this year. So.
Imagine that, guys. Imagine, oh my God, you're not on the road 300 days a year. You're actually home. You have time to be with your significant other. How does that work? Pretty well.
Have kids, so yeah.
Everybody has everyone has more time in the road because they're not doing house shows and like touring as much. And just doing TV and they go home. Yeah, definitely here. But what do you think? Do we get more Moxley Omega?
I think he's taking some time off, and I think that's good. I think if you take a loss, you should kind of step away for a little bit. And I think Moxley was, we were seeing enough of Moxley. Again, less is more, and I think Moxley should be an attraction in AEW. I don't think he needs to be there every week. So if he wants to take a little time off for the kid, I think that's great. He needs it.
Absolutely. Other people saying, why do we need Omega? Why don't we bring back Monty Brown? Why don't we have Alpha? We have the Alpha male versus Omega. I don't know.
I am all day. I am here for the return of Monty Brown. The man hit the pounce. I don't know if you knew this. There was 6 sides to a ring. He could come from any of them because he was that agile of a man. That is a man who could be in the main event anywhere, anytime he wants to. He just chooses not to. It's insane. People want Monty Brown, and he's just like, nah.
No, I'm not a fan of it. I saw several people bring this up. We haven't been able to cover this on the show this week, but I want to know about it. News coming out of WWE's constant worldwide expansion. We've heard about this for quite some time. Now a little bit more momentum on it, of WWE doing a brand exclusively for India. This would be NXT India, not NXT Asia. And that this brand would feature several different India America talents, India Canadian talents that they have. And the show would feature Jinder Mahal, the Singh brothers, and several others. They have reportedly set some type of date for a taping. This would be taped in Orlando, Florida, not in India as they're developing a performance center there. Interesting take here, Teak, that they're going in this direction. We've heard about it, that they wanted to do one in Asia. They were going to do one in Latin America. Why India first? There's a very underrated wrestling audience there, and we see it at WrestleZone all the time.
Wrestling in India. I mean, I know that they do like a show in WWE. They call it Dhamal, which means like chaos, and I know that show does very well in India. So I know that India needs some wrestling, because if it's not WWE, it's a Great Khali's promotion. For those that don't know, I think Great Khali has like an independent promotion in India that he's the Mr. McMahon character in his promotion. So it's
If he tells you you're fired, you're fired. Like I believe it. I'm not going to come back. I don't want to get crushed my head. I don't want. I'm fired, and my temples have been smashed in. I don't need any of that.
And then you guys know the story, right? That like Undertaker was used in a Bollywood movie in like 1991, right? I don't know if you guys heard this.
He wrestled Crush. He wrestled Crush.
Well, no, tell me about this. He did a Bollywood movie?
So I believe it wasn't, if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't Mark Calloway. It was Brian Lee, who played fake Undertaker in the movie.
The Undertaker. I saw.
Mark. If
I was at the Undertaker. I was at the Undertaker versus Undertaker match at WrestleMania.
I think he's related to Mark Calloway. So he appears in a Bollywood movie because the director, again, Indian, like just overseas, they are attitude era marks. They love their Hulk Hogan, they love their Sting, they love their Undertaker. I still thought that at one point there was going to be like some Sting Undertaker showdown at these Saudi Arabia matches, because they love the old stuff over there. There's a reason that like
I'm sure they asked for it.
Yeah, I'm sure they asked for it. They want the ghost of Andre the Giant to show up too. They want all that. They want hologram stuff and all. So yeah. So the director was an Undertaker mark and was like, and the scene needed to be at a wrestling match. He was like, can we get the Undertaker? And somehow they got Brian Lee to play the Undertaker.
That's not fair to the Indian fans. They couldn't get the Undertaker.
They got the real Crush. They can handle getting a fake Undertaker.
Come on, Robert. If you had a choice, you call Stanford and you're trying to cut the deal, right? You're calling collect from Mumbai. You know what I mean? And you want the deal. You want the Undertaker. You get Crush. No rip to Crush. You want the Undertaker.
Well, you don't know. I mean, how is it that maybe it was during the time where they were still saying, hey, this is the real Undertaker? Yeah. They're not going to know the difference.
You don't know. Yeah. Is Paul Bearer coming? That's all that matters.
Listen, just send him Brian Lee and say it's the same thing. They won't know.
Protect the gimmick, brother. You know, they we're protecting it.
Who is the comedian that smashed the melons, Teak? Who am I thinking?
Oh, Gallagher.
Yes. Gallagher. Robert, did you ever hear about this?
Yes.
Gallagher's brother looks a lot like him, so he just called his brother Gallagher too, and had his brother go do his act.
Yes.
His exact act, looking like him, dressed a little bit like him. You just knew something was off. It was like Canadian Gallagher, right? And it was just a little bit off. And they did a Gallagher too, because that's how popular he was. He could run two different cities at the same time. Oh man, they have the house show B loop and the house show A loop. That's what they're
the B show, the B Gallagher.
The B show Gallagher. Jay Feliciano has more questions here. Jay, a man who knows a thing or two about WWE. Jay says Khali as the commissioner with the K of NXT India. He's already running his own promotion in India.
For the love of God, do not give the great Khali a microphone under any circumstance.
Come on, an exclusive speaking role for Khali. He would crush it.
In Longest Yard, he needed subtitles, so we know his grasp of English. All right.
When you need subtitles in a movie that also has Adam Sandler, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Kevin Nash, you're not very good. And Goldberg, you're not very good at the English language.
That is our second Adam Sandler reference of the night.
Yeah, there you go. We don't need Khali as a commissioner. I like NXT India. Look, Indu Share, they're rotting away in NXT. Let them go to India. They could be the first tag team champions. Jinder Mahal is going to be a legend. He's already a legend. He's going to be even more of one. You know why? Because we don't hinder the Jinder. Okay? And he's doing good things, and I think it's going to be great.
James, who's with us all the time, great fan of the show. We're down this wrestling in India wormhole now. And he brings up, I want to go to India just so I can go into WWE themed restaurants. Do we know anything about? I'm not aware of these. But I've seen.
It wouldn't surprise me if there's like a WWF like New York, but in India, like I'm sure they have one of those. It's just we don't It's probably
I hope they still call it WWF too.
they still call it WWF.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. I want to say at least once a month, WrestleZone will get tagged in something, and it'll be a Hindi language website or of some different sort, and they'll have content on there direct from WWE. Like there is just piracy is not like something they worry about. They just put it out there. And there was posters for it's like John Cena cookies. It was just like that's a factory. There are people in a factory making those cookies. I don't think those are licensed.
No,
I don't think John Cena knows that his name is on those cookies that are on the streets of these New Delhi right now. I don't think he knows that. But I always love that stuff. I just think it's cool. It's fun.
It's part of the fandom. Because that's the thing. You don't need, even though India speaks English, you don't need to learn English to see two people beat the fuck out of each other. So it's
you really don't.
No.
So it's universal. I hope NXT India does well. I hope it's stiff. I think what I like about NXT UK is stuff stiff. Like keep the matches stiff. And I think there should be some good cross promotion there. Bring over some US people as well. If somebody's not getting used in NXT America, send them over to India. When we can travel again, I think that's gonna be the other hindrance right now is how are you bringing people over?
That is also hindered gender. That is hindered is a lack of travel. That is hindered.
And Walter too. We haven't seen Walter in forever too because he was stuck with travel.
Oh yeah, if Walter could get over to stateside, he could rule. Some confusion about our Hulk Hogan holiday movie watch along. I'm not talking about Paul Hogan. I'm not talking about Paul Hogan, Crocodile Dundee. I am talking specifically about Hulk Hogan. Paul Hogan, by the way, just put out a new movie, another Crocodile
He's got a new movie too. What the?
And on the poster is blown up balloons of crocodiles. Like they didn't even want to CGI. They didn't even want to Photoshop in actual crocodiles. No. They just did those floaty ones that go in your pool. So
times are hard, Kevin. Okay, we gotta make this stuff work.
Thunderdome. They Thunderdomed in the Crocs, dude. That's what they got going on. So that's where we are. Hopefully,
before you wrap it up, I have a question.
Sure.
Let's talk about these Raw ratings.
Oh, now, yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, definitely before we get off on Raw ratings.
I theorize that these ratings are in the trash. And I think that come January 24th, we're going to have Donald Trump on Raw. Now,
don't do that to me, Robert.
Hold on. No, we're going here, Kevin, because we have some stuff to promote. Now, Pratik, you have the album on Spotify. It's got a thing
before
here.
Everyone clicks out and gets mad. Robert's going to say this.
No, we're going here. We're going to Trump. Let's talk about it. You got a thing called "You Smell What the Corruption Is Cooking."
Yeah,
now, I heard this. Very funny. Talk about Trump as a heel. Just talk about it.
He is. I mean, for those that without doing the whole bit, without Byron Allen it right now, he is.
He's trying to Comics Unleash him, Robert. Come on.
I mean, look at what Trump did to get elected. He went into arenas and had people show up to watch it. He was on the house show loop before anybody else. People don't talk about that. He's doing house show loops. He's playing heel tactics. His whole Twitter feed is just like heel hometown promo 101. That's all it is. It's your bad team sucks and blah, blah, blah. Look at these keys. Then he distracts the in this case, he's distracting the keys. And then instead of using a steel chair, he's using his tax returns as the illegal weapon. That's all he's doing. It's
to the point where this guy on the final days before the election is literally showing footage of his rival on a big screen. This dude is basically just watching Raw going, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. They need to pop the number. This dude is in their Hall of Fame. Do they get desperate legitimately and call in a favor and say, hey, can you show up on Raw and we'll have...
The day you leave, that would be, yeah. I think it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, let's be honest here. Trump is looking to be on TV the minute he gets out of office. He's going to be on TV, everything. He's going to be on Telemundo. He's going to be on NBC. He's going to reopen The Apprentice. He's going to be on Netflix. He's going to do the David Letterman Netflix show, but it's him talking to people for 2 hours. He's going to do everything. He's going to start his own network. So would it surprise me? No. He will show up on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Superstars, whatever, Wrestling Challenge. He's going to revive Wrestling Challenge just to show up on there. Wouldn't surprise me at all. The man loves wrestling.
The event center, great events. Look at the screen behind me. No one has these screens. Do you see these screens? They don't have these on CNN. They don't have these on CNN. They don't have screens. Very, very sad. Very sad. So we're going to be in Poughkeepsie, New York at the Civic Center.
Poughkeepsie in his life.
I'm not going to be there, but I'm sending Eric.
He's sending Donald Trump too. He's sending
Eric is
Junior, you can act like I'm there, but it's actually Junior. Have fun. It's Poughkeepsie.
Listen, we send Eric to the sea markets. Ivanka gets the bees. I only work the garden.
Boston guys. Jesus Christ. No, it's for your listeners or whatever, I talk about Trump on the album. So.
I'm sorry if that happens, and I don't mean to step on your bit there, T. If they do that, that would drive me crazy. It would drive me really, really crazy. It scares me. It scares me when you just theorize.
When is the Rumble? Maybe he's a surprise entrance at the Rumble.
Oh, number 30. That's right. That's right. From the White House to WrestleMania, I did it. First man to do it.
I beat COVID-19. I beat
COVID-19. And now I'm going to the main event. That's what The Rock is going to come back for. Rock Trump. There we go.
Oh, dude, come on. And then Trump would be like, do I have to lose? Did I really? I mean, did the referee count to 3? Let's get a recount. Let's get a recount on what the referee did.
It's a rigged match. It's not even real. Wrestling is fake. They never tell you that.
There's mail-in referees. They're mail-in referees.
Mail-in 10 count.
Now, I just wanted to put over his wonderful comedy that is available on Spotify. And that is a real thing. I do think at some point, maybe not on the Monday after he is out of office, but I do think we see Trump pop up on Raw in some way, shape, or form.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely go check out Pratik's album. It comes out December 22nd. Nick and Sheila's Kid. I love the album. I love the album cover. I love you, Teak. I'm really rooting for you on this thing. Apple, Spotify, Amazon. You can pre-order on Apple and Amazon if you really want to help him out. And then tomorrow, I'll be joining him on this really, really great stream. Where can they actually get this stream if they're looking just to join us for that stream tomorrow night?
If you want to RSVP, go to Pratik Comedy, my first name, Prateek, comedy @gmail.com. You'll get the Zoom link from there. If you happen to be on social media platforms, the link will be on my Facebook page and my Instagram. It's at Pratik Comedy on Facebook and Instagram. I'm at The Daily Pratik on Twitter. Somebody was asking about my Twitter handle in the chat. I'm at The Daily Pratik on Twitter. Yeah, the link will be on there, or you can shoot me an email. But yeah, and we're also streaming it on YouTube as well. So if you don't want to go be in the Zoom room, you can just watch it at your leisure. But check it out. I'm really excited about that show tomorrow. It's for charity. It's for St. Jude's Cancer Research Hospital. They take care of everybody's bills when you get admitted there. So it's a great organization, and we're doing 34 comics. It's gonna be an insane night. It's literally the Royal Rumble of comedy. There's gonna be so much.
Yes, and I'm coming in late, baby. I know I'm coming in.
You're towards the end. Ooh,
I get one of those sweet spots. I'm gonna be revved up, dude. My cardio's gonna be ready. I'm gonna be just waiting.
No, he comes in and he gets thrown out immediately. You
give me the Bushwhacker elimination. I can't handle that, dude.
Is that not why you have shaved your head? Is that not the whole look you're doing for?
It's easier to grab me and just give me the old shit can over the top rope. Is that what you're telling me?
That's right.
Amos has a pretty low. Like, didn't he get out in like 2 seconds? Heath Ledger.
Santino Morello has the record, and they built it up, and he delivered on just going over the top rope in like less than a second. And Heath Slater has it. I know the Warlord one time went in and it was like
Warlord. I almost said Wardlow there, but Warlord had it for a little bit. I think it went to the Bushwhacker, but obviously Santino has it. But if we're telling the truth, Kevin is the guy who won't even make it. He'll get Titus O'Neil himself and just slip on his way to the Zoom call. How you slip on the way to your camera, I don't know, but Kevin will do it. I work with Kevin legitimately.
I love how you just throw all the salt and then you just think a little sprinkle of sugar at the end. It's just gonna make it easier. We've been going 70 minutes, and just every 10 minutes you're just like, come here, Kev, come here, let me give you a hug. Let me get my hand around the other side. We just lost Pratik.
Jeez, here's the truth. You told me 10 to 15 minutes, but I'm having such a good time.
Yeah.
We've got
I just wanted you to come on and talk ratings with me a little bit of AEW, and you did 70 with me. Thank you so much, Robert. And I guess that's the currency. If I'm gonna come on the show, Kev, I have to shit on you for an hour and a half. All right, that's part of the deal. All right,
that's what it is. But if you want to follow me, you can check out everything I'm doing in the world of wrestling, be it SmartOut Moment, Fightful.com, or WrestleZone, at Dude Felice on Twitter. That is where you can follow me. And I thank you all for all your support.
Yeah, you can give me a follow on the Twitter machine. I'll tweet out those links for the 34 for 34 charity comedy stream that we're doing on Friday, December 18th. If you're listening to the podcast or watching the show on demand, great thing to watch during the commercials on SmackDown or after SmackDown. We're going to be on after that as well. I know I'm going to be in the 9 p.m. Central hour. So if you want to come in and just join the stream, it's free. And you can donate to St. Jude's, a great charitable cause. The money that you're not spending at a holiday party this year, you could spend on causes that need that money. So think of that. I know everyone's tight with the wallet, so am I. So think of that as well. I'm excited for it. We're going to have a post show on a Sunday night following WWE TLC. So that's going to be fun with John Clark. I know he's going to have many a hot take now. A lot of the personality coming on Mr. Clark. He's coming out of the Superman telephone booth.
That is good, because, I've been doing these less, and I'm glad to see that Clark has stepped up and given you a little bit of the personality, because really, Kevin, God, you need somebody with a personality to be with you, because you're just so wooden, Kevin. You're so wooden.
Dude,
now,
listen, we get it, okay? Look, we get it. We get it, Robert.
Do you though?
All right. See, here's the thing, Pratik. He works for another website, and they give him what is known in our business as a big head,
Ooh.
And he comes back to work the home club, comedy speak, right? He opens for someone that's on the Tonight Show. So now,
okay. So I got you.
He's going to come into the open mic, and you just got to give him a spot. He's going to start bumping people. Like, I got to go. I got to go
do a show, which is
and he doesn't have to go do a show. He doesn't want to. He wants to just not wait and watch other people. So he doesn't want to put the grind in, and that's where it is. The only thing he wants to grind is a knife into my back.
Kevin, I worry that you project these insecurities. It's not good, Kevin. I care. I want you to know that I do.
The WrestleZone is a safe zone, Kevin.
It is. Thank you so much. You get it. You see, he's known you for longer than me. He gets it. We just care, Kevin.
Thank you guys that watched it. People giving us nice comments. People saying they'd love to. They say that Pratik had to take a leak. They just want to rhyme that into your.
You know what happened? I was sucked into the bottom of the ring by Demon Kane. So that's where I went.
That happens. That happens. I mean, you play. You do that. You play with those mythical forces. It's going to happen
sometimes. Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. Obviously, you have so many different options, so many different screens, so many different feeds. So you choosing us, especially now with what you spend your time with, is important as we just kind of burn the clock and hope until we all get a needle in the arm and we can return to life as we once knew it. Don't worry. We will get back to that, and those things will be fun. Robert, you owe me a drunken, humid Florida night. And let me tell you, I am gonna get you you are gonna piss two pairs of pants when I get you this drunk. That's my plan. All right.
All right.
And just like they said in a great Adam Sandler movie, third Adam Sandler reference of the show.
Oh shit! You got room for 3.
You ain't cool. Consider me Miles Davis, Robert, because you ain't gonna be cool until you pee your pants. That's a plan.
Well then.
Once again, Teak there with us. Teak, we did the promo for the album. Once again, give out your Twitter handle again so they can get the link for tomorrow's 34 for 34 comedy stream for St. Jude's, and of course the album coming out once again December 22nd. Teak is frozen in time. You can follow him at the Daily Pratik. Teak looks like he fell asleep in the middle of our conversation.
This damn technology is hitting me below the belt.
There you go. They can follow you.
My microphone's unplugged too.
My microphone's not even plugged in. Kevin, for the love of God, do you get any professionals? Kevin, I can't do this show all the time. What the hell is your problem?
You can't do this show all the time? Now your issue is you can't do this show all the time?
Yeah, professional, Kevin. Please.
I already knew your issue was you couldn't do the show all the time. I understand it. You're here in your little race car bed chair, and you're mad at me that you can't do the show all the time.
Well, no, I'm mad at you that you bring someone on the show and his microphone's not even plugged in. I'm a professional, Kevin. Please.
Pratik had the clip-on tie of audio equipment.
Yeah, but it's a good clip-on tie. It fools you till the end of the interview, and then I go, "Hey, it wasn't real all along."
You know what? Because you have such a presence.
It was me all along.
Ha! It was me all along. Once again, the album is Nick and Sheila's Kid, December 22nd. Spotify, Apple, Amazon. Go pre-order Amazon and Apple if you really want to support them. All the links on there. We've plugged.
Be in, pratikcomedy.com. Everything's all there. Yeah.
Yeah. Robert, why don't you do your plugs for the other websites? Because I have to give you that respect. And
No, I tried to get through them quick, but you see, he's going to let me do it anyway. Thank you, Kevin. I work for Fightful.com pretty soon every day of the week. So follow us over there. I work for Spark Out Moment when I'm not doing anything else. So I'm always doing something in the world of wrestling. Follow me on Twitter @DudeFelice. Check out everything I got going on. Thank you. This has been a blast.
Yeah.
Check out his album. It is very funny guy. And I've enjoyed this.
Yeah, we're gonna have more of my comedy friends on in the future and try and make the Thursday shows as fun and as ridiculous as we can. Thank you guys. If you really enjoyed the show, share it, give it a review, pass it on. It doesn't take more than a few seconds just to click like if you really enjoyed the show. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Robert, I may be worried about knife wounds in my back, and you may be worried about me making you incontinent in your bladder. But tell them, when watching wrestling, what are you supposed to do?
So unlike what Kevin does on this show where he projects his insecurities, he'll leave your insecurities behind you. And then do the thing that Kevin actually does, which you should follow, and that's enjoy